Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We are back again, and it's time for the Thursday banger. It's time for the Thursday banger, y'all. That's a lock. It's time for the Thursday banger, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, man, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out there working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out there with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the morning times, and I promise y'all, there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process, though, and that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. That's it. Just stay out the way for me, man. I'm telling you, man. I know it's a rough world, man. I know everybody grow up differently, man. I know everybody is not fortunate as everybody else. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, like, what kind of life are you living just knowing that you're going to the graveyard or to a prison, man? Like, that's not a life, man. Because I know y'all used to that life because that's the only thing y'all saw growing up, man. Like, but you got to break the cycle, man. You got to start with y'all. It ain't nobody out in this world that can talk y'all out of the streets, man, from what y'all got going on, man. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's up to y'all, man. If you just want to stay out here with your family, man, or you just want to keep thugging, man, your whole life, man. Just thugging your whole life is going to get old, man. I'm telling you, when you get my age, you're going to feel like, man, what was I doing? Like, you wasted so many years just out in the streets thugging. It don't make sense. So turn your life around right now while you still have the chance, man. While you hearing a good word about how easy it is to stay out the way, man. Staying out the way is not a hard task. It's easy, man, if you want it to be, man. Just change your life around, y'all. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is the Thursday banger. So what I need y'all to do with this one. Like, share, subscribe, this one, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But it's time for business. Time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called He Bought My Whole Package. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation. We are where, people? We are in penitentiary, man. Crazy things happen all the time. And like, I'm letting y'all know now, man, it be so much miscommunication, I'm gonna say, man. It be a lot of miscommunication going on in prison, man. Because like, when you in there trying to get some money, like, it's really like, people look at it like, man, don't play with the money, man, for a lot of reasons, man. Like, of course, it's the same way how people look at it on the street, don't play with my money. But in there, it's up a little, it's up a notch a little bit, man, because money in there is like what all people have. So like, when it comes to big money, like, people really want their money, man. So like, it's a lot of people that come in there. It's a lot of dudes that's honorable. You know, they like to get their nose dirty, like to do everything they like to do or whatever the case, and they end up paying their bills, man. Then you have the ones that come in there that like to play games, man. So like, every time in situations where people play games, it never works out good, y'all. So with that being said, though, we are on Lawrenceville for this, y'all. We are on Lawrenceville. And I can remember being in 30 building, man. But before I was in 30 building, this is around the time where I got kicked out of 30 building and they moved me back to San Francisco, man. So I'm in 60 building, the new San Francisco. And I was over there for a little second, but I was able to make my way back to 30 building. You know what I mean? I think I was over in 60 building probably 4 months, and I was able to make my way back to 30 building, man. The only reason I was able to make my way back to 30 building is because that a-hole sergeant that had it out for me and my roommate Baldhead, man, he ended up getting moved to another block. Like, they ran a play on him to get rid of him out the building. So like, when he got kicked out the building, that was my opportunity to get back to the only building I only knew 30 building. I was a 30 building dude from the start. So like, that's the building I wanted to be in, man. So like, when he left, that was my opportunity to get back. That's when I went to the dude that be working in the council office in 60 building. I paid him to see if he can get me moved back to 33. They was already telling me it was a sale open. I was trying to go, man. So long story short, they got me up out of there. So when I moved back to 30 building, man, like, you know, this building switched. Like, it's a whole new landscape of dudes. Everybody, you know, I know dudes in there, and like the dudes in the block, I know the originals in there, but like the block changed. I've been gone for months. So this is how prison go. I told y'all, in weeks, months, whatever the case, it always flips. So like, I come back into 33 to a whole new block. Not only did I come back to 33, I am in the first sale by the laundry area with the door. I'm telling y'all, I never wanted to be in, but that was the only sale I could get in, man. So I was in that sale right there. Now, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit in the story because there's another story where I was in this sale, but while I was in this sale right here, like, it was crazy because it made me be like more aware. It made me feel like I had to really be on point because I'm actually sleeping right by the back door. Remember I told y'all where I was at the first time, I was on the other side of the top tier. So like they had to come from either up the steps or the back door to get all the way to the other side where I was at. Now they can just shoot through the back door. So it made me look at things differently. I had to be on point more. I had to kind of like move different, all of that, man. So like I can remember my homeboy, man, that was in 31 pod. Now, my homeboy that was in 31 pod, he was the one that was striking with me. Now, he was one of the ones that used to strike with me when I was getting the la-la, you know what I mean? So, like, me and him had a good rapport, and everything was lovely. So, bro, when I had ended up getting moved, our player got messed up anyway. Big Tiff, it was over with for Big Tiff. It was a wrap anyway. So, like, everybody was on recoup mode. But when I come back over there, my man got a situation, but he rocking with the Richmond dude, you know what I mean? Which was his celly. And his celly used to go to the VI, and he would get no la-la. But he would go over there and get him some D-block, and he'll get my man the Hardee's chicken. Now, my man didn't care about if he had la-la or not. Of course he wanted, but like he did everything to be able to get la-la in there. So he wasn't tripping. He was about the money. So that's what he was doing in there. Like he used to write me a kite a couple of times. He sent me a few pieces over there to get rid of on the Hardee's chicken when I was still in 60 building. But now I'm over here. When I come over there, like he was happy that I was back. So when I come over there, bro showed me. Bro was like, yeah. He was like, man, for real. He was like, man, I got a lot of Hardee's chicken. Like he was like, he get the Hardee's chicken every week. So like he was the Hardee's chicken man in that building. I ain't gonna lie, and you'll be surprised who mess with that stuff, man. So like, bro had a good business going on. So I'll say for probably about a week of me being back in 30 building, man, I come back from breakfast one day, man, and my man was standing at the door, and he called me to the door. My man that's in 31, and he told me he was getting transferred. Now I couldn't believe it, man. Like for real, bro been over there for a minute, but like everybody got to go home. So when you get close to going home, this is usually the procedure. If they don't want you to stay on Lawrenceville, they ship you to the reentry. So bro was going home like at 15, you know what I mean? So I guess they shipped him to the reentry, you know what I mean? So I guess he had to go to the reentry. So he was mad about he had to leave, man. Bro been on Lawrenceville like a 7-piece, man, like a minute, you know what I mean? So like he didn't want to go nowhere, but like you gotta move on when it's a situation like that. So he was like, yo, look, I need to holler at you, bro. He was like, they moving me, man. He was like, yo, when they do lunch, I ain't going to lunch. Come over here when they do lunch. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Because bro had a jack too. So I'm thinking like, you know what I mean? Bro gonna try to let me buy the jack. Now, I didn't want to bring it up because with me being gone for 4 months, you know, he grew bonds with other people in there. It's a few other dudes in there that he rocked with, a couple of dudes, you know what I mean? So like, I'm pretty sure everybody got their bid in for this phone already. So like, I felt like I couldn't cut the line. But who knows though? He telling me to come over here. Who knows what's gonna happen, y'all? It could be my lucky day. So boom. So I waited till lunchtime and I shot over that jump. Got over there, went up in his pod, 229 game, went up in the joint, you know what I mean? Got to his cell. He like, man, he got all his stuff packed. He like, yo, after lunch, they told me to take all my property, man. You know what I mean? Because I told him this morning it was going to take me a minute. Bro had a lot of stuff. Man. So he was like, told him it was going to take me a minute. But he was like, look, though, man, I'll holler at you. I'm like, I'm waiting for him to say, bro, I'm going to give you the jack. I was like, what's up? He was like, hey, bro, look, man. He was like, for real, though, you know I can't leave the jack, man, because my homeboy in such and such part, he was like, my homeboy, not even in the building. He was like, oh, homeboy that I rock with, like, you know what I mean? Like, he was around when I bought it, and, like, he know about it. He got more time than us, Weezy, man. So, like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Just leaving the junk with him. I was like, I thought about it. Like, at first I was like, that's messed up. But I just got over here, so it won't messed up. But I'm like, yo, bro, that's cool, bro. Like, everything good. He was like, look, I got something else for you. I'm like, what? He was like, man, I ain't taking no chances. He was like, man, for real, I was going to take this junk with me, bro. He was like, but I ain't taking no chances, bro. He was like, look, you want this right here? I was like, what? He pulled his hand out. I looked. I said, what's that? It was in a bag. He was like, it's the Hardee's chicken. I was like, well, that's the Hardee's chicken, bro. He was like, yeah. I was like, look. Like, for real, bro, like, you know, I'm just getting back over here, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was like, bro, listen, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm going to show you everybody that be rocking and rolling. You ain't going to have nothing to worry about. I'm going to tell you what's going on. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm like, look, this all me right here. He was like, look, nah, it ain't all you. He was like, nah, it ain't all you, bro. Look, all I want, bro, is $400, bro. Send me $400, bro. He was like, bro, this is like $2,500 worth of work. You know what I mean? I'm like, $2,500. He was like, it depends how you sell it. Like, if you want to be petty and just dime a dude to death for $50, like, you can do that and probably make you $2,500. But he was like, I just want 4 cents, bro. He was like, this 4 cents right here for real, bro. I'm just trying to make sure I got that. You know what I mean? If I can get something out, basically what I bought the J for, I was like, that's what's up, man. So I was like, why you ain't leaving with your roommate? He was like, man, I ain't leaving with him, man. He was like, man, you don't know how to mess with this, man. So like, I'm just doing something for the people I rock with. So I'm like, man, I felt all right. Like, bro didn't leave me to jack. At least he left me to crack, y'all. So boom. I was happy about that, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I felt good about that, man. So we left out his cell feeling good. You know what I mean? I helped bro take his stuff to property. The lady let me out to help me push his stuff, help him take it to property. Me and bro rocked the property and talked a little bit, and that's when he was giving me the game. He was like, oh, look. He said, it's a dude in his pod, man. He was like, it's a couple dudes in his pod. He said, it's a black dude and it's a white dude in his pod. He was like, the white dude, we gonna call him Jeff. You know what I mean? He was like, look, white boy Jeff. He was like, man, for real, white boy Jeff will buy all that shit. He was like, man, for real, white boy Jeff will buy all of it. He was like, but if you trying to make some money, then don't do it. He was like, because he the type always try to negotiate because he can make the money happen big. You know what I mean? So like, if you trying to grind, then don't do it. He was like, but for real, he is a good candidate that you want. You know what I mean? He was like, he funny, he country, and he worrisome. I was like, funny, country, and worrisome. So I'm like, oh, you talking about the white dude that be in the hallway all the time? He was like, yeah. He was like, look, man, everybody know him. He was like, man, but look, his money good money though. He was like, but the black dude, he in the honor part. He was like, he be spending the money too. He told me about a few other dudes. You know what I mean? I knew about a guy on the other side that'll buy, but I'm just, you know, I'm new over here in 30 building. So I'm like, man, I'm just taking in all the notes that bro was telling me, man. So when we get back to the building, I docked him up, man. I was like, yo, bro, come outside tonight. You know what I mean? Because this was around summertime. We had night rec. I'm like, bro, come outside tonight and holler at you one more time. Me and bro kicked it for the last time, man. The next morning came, bro was out of there, y'all. So boom. So now it was dolo, you know what I mean? Not really dolo, but like this dude's in there from the town. That's in the part I'm in, but like the block flipped. It's younger dudes now. Like it's a couple of my old head in there, and there's a couple other dudes in there. Popcorn them still in there, but it ain't the old crew. It ain't the old crew, man. That sergeant dude got rid of everybody. He moved me and my man the same day and got rid of Ballhead the week before. Then moved a couple other, like he just got rid of everybody that Jive rock with that was in that block, man. So like this was a reset, if you could call it that. This was like a reset game. So the only thing about this reset is I got this freaking hottest chicken now. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. Now, first things first, now, I wanted to see if this junk really was a cannon. Like usually my man will send me stuff that never was garbage. But still though, like before I can move how I want to move, I need to make sure this junk good. So I went to popcorn. Now I know popcorn don't mess with it for real. Popcorn don't mess with that stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Popcorn ain't even mess with the dog food. He was from the R. And all them old heads from the R was messing with that dog food. Popcorn ain't messing with nothing but the la. I ain't gonna lie. And roll-ups. That's all popcorn mess with. So I pull up one. I say, yo, look. He was like, what's up? I said, man, look, man. I got some hottest chicken, man. He was like, and? I was like, and? Look, you don't know nobody who mess with it? He was like, I mean, dude down there mess with it. Couple of dudes messing with it. Like, I don't mess with it, so I don't know nothing about it. I said, man, listen, Popcorn, they weren't even selling crack when you was on the street, man. I said, man, they was still freebasing when you was out there, man. He was like, he jumped at me with the old head, Joe. He was like, I was like, man, go ahead, man. Goddamn, Corn, you late. You already know you late, man. You been locked up forever, Corn. He was like, I said, that's crazy. They weren't selling Hardy's chicken here when you was on the street. I said, Popcorn, you late. He was like, man, go ahead, look. What, you want me to holler at him? I said, nah, look. I went in my pocket. I was like, here. He was like, what's this? I was like, man, up a little nick, little hit, something like that. Bro, I said, see if that dude let you know what that joint hitting on. You know what I mean? He was like, what's in it for me? I said, man, look, we're charging then. I said, tell the man you want $10. He was like, all right. Popcorn went down the steps like this. He was like, went down the steps, ugly as hell, y'all. So boom. But he went to go holler at the dude. So he go holler at the dude. Why you hollering at the dude? I hear somebody say, hey, Weezy! Hey, Weezy! I'm like, yo. Like, yo, somebody wants you at the front door. I'm like, who is it? I don't know, a white dude. I'm like, shh. Go down the steps. Go to the door. Yo. See the white dude. He was like, hey, man. How you doing, man? I'm Jeff. I was like, oh, yeah. My man told me about you. What's up? He was like, hey, look. His voice got quieter when he started talking about the Hardy's chicken. He was like, hey, look. Hey, man, you got some of that Hardy's chicken over there? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, because I went to go holler at your homeboy, and he told me he gave it all to you. I was like, yeah, I got it. He was like, is it something new or is it something old? I was like, man, I don't know, man. I just got it, man. What's up? What you talking about? He was like, the reason why I was asking for that, because, you know, the last thing your homeboy had was good. So I want that. I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. What's up, though? He was like, man, for real, I'm just trying to you know what I mean, just enjoy the rest of the week. You know, it's a fresh Tuesday, and you know, like it's a long week ahead of me, man, and I just want to enjoy myself, man. So like, what are you trying to sell me, man? I said, look, how much you trying to spend? Like, would you talk to me? He was like, all right, tell me something for $100. I was like, all right, I got you. You know what I mean? So went upstairs, came back, hit the button. Lady let me out. I stepped out so we could see face to face. I was like, what's up, man? Weezy, man. He was like, oh, yeah. I saw Jeff, man. I was like, yeah, look, Jeff. I said, man, listen, when I'm going to get this money, though? He was like, look, I'm going to release Havoc, man, before Friday. I told you it was like Tuesday. He was like, I'm going to have it like before Friday. Is that cool? Now, usually, like, Lawrenceville was a cash and carry type of camp a lot of times, but still, with them big drugs, you still got to kind of work with people like a little bit, not long periods of time. You know what I mean? Because it's green dots and all this stuff, phones everywhere, like, handle the business. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Friday, I'm like, all right, that's a lot. I'm like, well, look, though. I was like, I got it, though. You know what I mean? I was like, you know somebody else? He was like, nah. He said that junk quick. He was like, nah, I don't know nobody else like that, man. I just worry about myself. You know, every now and then, me and my roommate, he takes a hit. Other than that, everything is all mine. Since eyes got big when he said it, he was like, other than that, my roommate takes a hit. Other than that, everything is mine. I was like, why? I was like, look, Friday a lot though, right? He was like, yeah. I was like, look, man, I know I'm just moving in the building, man, but look, man, I tell everybody this. It ain't nothing personal. I ain't trying to act tough. I ain't trying to push nothing at you, Jeff. He was like, what, man? I was like, look, man, I don't play about my money, man. He was like, oh, yeah. He gave me the £2 joint. He was like, oh, okay, we're cool. We're cool, dude. We cool. I was like, all right. Went back in the pod, y'all. So boom, that was that. But that was my first play that I made off the free Hottie's chicken that my man gave me. But I'm being extra careful about this because I'm like, man, bro, just threw me some free Hottie's chicken. I started to look at it like, for real, bro, this isn't a pack where you should make $1 million, bro. This is a pack where you need to make the money. So I look around, I see popcorn coming out the dude's sale, I guess, that he got the, you know what I mean? Who I gave him the little tester for. He see me, he said, hey. He put his phone on the table, he was like, man, dude, you said that John some garbage, Weezy. I was like, some garbage? He was like, yeah. I mean, he said maybe he got to kick in, but as of right now, he was like, he was all right. Like, he won't, like, zooted out his mind and that. I said, zooted? I said, Popcorn, you super late, man. I said, man, go ahead, man. I said, but look, no, for real, though, it ain't like that. He was like, nah, so it was crazy to hear that. It was crazy to hear that, though. So I'm like, wow, like, this is crazy right here. So I'm like, bro, left me some doodoo brown? I'm like, oh, bro, left me some doodoo game? I'm like, this is crazy right here. So, nevertheless, it still got to get sold, though. So the white dude just spent 100. So you'll go through things like this where this a person that says good, this person that says all right. Somebody be larceny about it. Like, it's about being larceny as possible. Like, the larceny comes out when you got those hard drugs, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like, when you got that dog food, that D block, and that Hardee's chicken or that outer pay, like, man, you got those type of things, man. All the larceny come out of dudes that get high on that stuff, y'all. So boom. So I'm trying to see how it's gonna play out. Because the white dude tell me it's garbage, then I know I got some garbage. I don't see the white dude until later. White dude come to child, this word. He don't even know I'm walking behind him. This part went before me, but I guess he was lollygagging, and now my part done started exiting, so now we walking the child. So I'm right behind him, he like this. I look at Jeff, he like this, he walking like this. He was like his feet weren't even moving off the ground. He was like, I catch up on him, I was like, I hit him on his shoulder, he was like, I was on the other side, I was like, what's up, man? What's up? I was like, what's good? He was like, oh shit, easy, man, what's up? I was like, is it good, man? He was like, that shit is the fucking butter, man. That shit is some fucking butter. I was like, the butter? What the fuck is? He was like, that's that fucking butter. Yeah, that's that good shit. The butter is the good shit. I'm like, oh, all right, that's what's up. But I didn't want to tell him that the dude said it was garbage because, like I say, some of niggas dudes be scheming so much, you never know what the hell is going on. So I'm like, all right, that's what's up, man. I was like, man, I'ma holler at you then, man. He was like, yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I pound him up. I passed him, you know what I mean? Because he was walking slow as hell. He was high as a bitch. He was walking dumb as a bitch. So we go to chow hall, leave the chow hall, come back to the pod. When I come back to the pod, I look at the dude who Popcorn gave the tester to. Like, he didn't come to chow. And that was like an indication of he probably too high to come to chow. So I was thinking maybe the joint kicked in. But I see him, I'm like, this is my word. I see dude at the joint. Dude looking regular. You know what I mean? It's dude looking regular. So I pull up on him. Like, I was like, look, I pull up on him. I was like, hey, yo. He was like, he turned around. I said, yo, look, Popcorn gave you that jump. He was like, yeah. I said, what's up with it, though? He was like, I mean, it's all right, man. You know, like, it ain't like no cannonball, but you know, it'll do. It ain't a cannonball, but it'll do the job. Like, I ain't tripping on it. I'm saying another dude I sold to saying it's a cannonball is what I'm saying. He was like, well, his tolerance must be different from mine. Like, you know, I mess with the hottest chicken frequently. I was like, so do he. So he was like, I mean, you know, it's all right, but like, what you'll sell me something for $50 for? So I'm like, see, that's the larceny right there. Like, they'll act like they don't like it, but the whole time, that ain't nothing but a tactic for me to lower the price game, y'all. So boom. I was like 50. He was like, yeah, look, I ain't got no send out though. But what you can do is I can give you half commissary now, and then you can give me a list for $25 when we go to the store next week. So I thought about it, I'm like, I ain't make no play in a minute. I said, hold that thought, I'm gonna holler at you. I shoot up the steps. Get up the steps. That's the money run. See, Popcorn, come on. Yeah. I'm like, hey, look. Man, why you always walking on the back of your flip-flops, Popcorn? Popcorn always walking on the back of his floor. You walk like a dinosaur. I used to tell Popcorn, you walk like a damn dinosaur. Goddamn, like a T-Rex in the legs. I stayed big in Popcorn. That was my dog though, man. But it's word. I said, hey, look. I said, dude told me he ain't like the jank. I said, now he trying to split $50. I said, what's up with that? He was like, I mean, that's what he told me. I said, look, is his money good? He was like, oh yeah, he ain't going nowhere. Yeah, he ain't going, he good. I was like, he trying to give me 25 now, 25 story. I was like, man, Popcorn was like, let me make a meal. I was like, man, calm down, man. Listen, man, we worry about the meal later, man. I already know I owe you for making the play, but look, I'm gonna see what's up with his money though. Is he a go? He was like, yeah, he good. Just told you that. I'm like, all right. I shoot back down the steps. I tell him, I said, look, bro. I said, give me a minute, man. I said, I got you on that too, man. I got you on that. He was like, all right. So I shoot back up the steps, go to my cell. You know what I mean? My cell right there. Go to my joint. Put the joint together. Give him a little dime game. You know what I mean? I'm hitting that joint with the bootleg razor. Hit that joint real nice. You know what I mean? Come back out. I was like, yo. Call dude over there. He was like, what's up? I had a piece of paper. I'm like, here. I handed it to him. He was like, it's a 50? I was like, go in your cell and look at it. He was like, all right, come on. So we walked in his cell. He was like, I said, now look, why you buying something that you said ain't really good though? I said, you told Popcorn it wasn't good. He was like, it's all right, man. Now I done been sitting and you know, it'll do me, man. Like, you know, like I need that blast, young blood. I need that blast. I was like, blast, pause. Like, pause wasn't invented yet, but like, Unc say he needed a blast game, y'all. So boom, blast in the hand right there. Another piece. There you go. Gave it to him. Got him out of Dodge. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I get out of Dodge, I'm about to go back up the stairs. Everybody say, Weezy! Hey, Weezy! I'm like, yo. They're like, hey, somebody wants you at the door. Who? The white boy. I'm like, the dude from across the hall. He's like, yeah. I'm like, shh. When he run down the steps, I'm like this. Get down them damn steps fast. What's up? Hey, man, you got another $1.50 for me? I'm like, yeah, I got you. That's all you want? He was like, yeah. I was like, look, though, you know where that put you at, though, right? He was like, yeah. I got you. Everything's good. All right. Went upstairs, made another play, gave it to him. I'm like, man, like, it's working out. Everything is working smooth. Everything is straight. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is crazy right here. I promise you, man. As soon as I started relaxing, I got in the cell, and I put my feet up and I'm in chill mode, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm talking like I'm chilling. I'm sitting in the joint, man. I'm like, man, I done made a few plays. I'm like, yeah. I was like, the white dude owed me $250. I was like, you know what I mean? Got a little commissary play. I was like, I'm just gonna take my time with it. You know what I mean? I put the cut up. This is my word. I put the joint out. I was like, man, I'm about to just, you know what I mean? Break all this stuff down. You don't need for me to keep breaking it down every time somebody come. I'm like, get it, man. I told my son, hold me down. Went to jump. I was like, is that a dime? Let me break down again. Reverse. Oh, hitting that jump like that. That's my word. Every time I look like a dime, I was splitting it again. Yeah, that's a dime. Look at it again. Right, small ass rocks. That's my word. Sit in the cell and cut up, nigga knock on the door. Hey, Weezy. I'm like, yo. He was like, hey, look, that white dude wants you at the door again. I'm like, yo. He telling the dude across the hall. They're like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, man. Grab the rocks. I'm like, shh. Put that jump back in the plastic. I mean, tuck it again. Go down the steps with the sack on again. I get down to the door. I'm like, what's up? He was like, hey, man, come out, man. I was like, come out for what? You good? He was like, yeah, everything's good. I looked at his eyes. That man, it looked like he was on steroids in the eyes. I promise you, his eyes was bloodshot. I'm talking super bloodshot red. He was like, come out here. I was like, everything good? He was like, yeah. He get the door open. I come out. I walk out. I'm like, what's up? He was like, hey, man. He put his arms on my shoulders. I was like, what's up, bro? Gave him the elbow. He was like, nah, man. Like, oh, man. He was like, this is crazy, dude. I want to buy it all.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.